There's been a lot of talk about how hard exactly Borderlands 4 can be. And I'm here to go ahead and give you guys a great build. The build that I actually use to get through the game. And honestly, this has been a breeze for me ever since actually getting this build online. So I'm here to give you my knowledge and the information that I've gathered while playing Borderlands over the past 100 hours. So this build is over Amon, and I'm turning Amon into a Elementalist summoner. I like to call it the Avatar Amon build, and this is going to help you clear the game so fast. So early game level 1 through 15, the main focus for early game is to focus on getting your critical hits. Now, if you don't know, if you shoot the enemy in the head, it is a critical hit. Some enemies are different when it comes to headshots or critical hits on them. But you want to mainly focus on this because early game, you don't really have much to work with. So these 3 nodes in this tree is going to gain you a lot of damage when it comes to the critical hits. That way you can get some shock damage on them, some splash damage on them, and then it increases the critical hit damage on top of the melee damage to just finish them off, especially if you have the axes for Amon. His axes they allow you to do extra melee damage. So using those to clear out some enemies are really helpful. And the main thing that you really have to look for in terms of your build whenever you are in the early game is I like to use guns that allow me to shoot a single time, such as some of the Jacob gun, the order guns. All you have to do is tap whenever you're shooting, and this will allow you for precise aim, especially if you're on mouse and key. There's actually a setting that you can turn on, which I need to do a video over the settings exactly. Some that can help you, especially if you're a beginner in the Borderlands series. But there's a setting that gives you aim assist, and this is really helpful when it comes to headshots whenever you use a controller or even using the mouse. And the main focus for that is just to make sure you get these headshots, especially on the armored enemies, break the armor, do more damage with your axes, and this will allow for a much more comfortable gaming style early game. And you just have to kind of play safe with, and depending on the difficulty. And the whole footage in this game or in this video that I'm using is Ultimate Vault Hunter. But mainly I would say when you're first starting out, just to play on normal or even easy, but normal. In this build I used on a hard, so I know that the build that I have for this video is definitely doable for the whole entire playthrough that you're doing on Amon, because playing on hard, you take a lot of damage, and this is honestly this is honestly important when I say how much the critical hits matter. But for mid game, level 15 to level 30, this is where you can upgrade your critical hits and your critical damage even more. You're adding on certain elements and extra factors when it comes to the critical hits, as such as more shock damage, and then each critical hit has a chance to spawn an elemental bolt. On top of that, you get the augment searing code, and the reason why this is so important is because this allows for your freezing axe when thrown to freeze the enemy no matter what, and it even works on some bosses. So when you throw your frozen axe, when you throw your frozen axe at an enemy, it freezes them. This allows them to stand still, and you can get headshots way easier. So this is an insane thing to have for your build, especially if you end up getting some items that allow for your cooldown reduction to be reduced on your action skills. That allows for more axes to be thrown, because you do have up to 3 axe charges. So pretty much any enemy that I ever struggled with, I would just throw my frozen axe at them and then move on, especially since the frozen does extra damage over time, which you can see right here. It does damage over time to them, ends up getting the kill most of the time, especially if you're further into the game. And then by the time they're dead, you get another axe, throw it at the next enemy that you're struggling with, especially the armored enemies or the enemies with extra perks on them that allow them to take reduced elemental damage. So that's really important when it comes to that as well. But this is where you will start farming, getting ready, getting prepared for the end game, and this is going to be where you'll have class mods coming in. But if you want to know more about class mods, it will be later in the video. I will explain more on that, but this is just the main focus for you to be able to get through the mid game, because level 15 to 30 could be a little bit of a struggle, but not too much to the extreme. Like you won't be dying left and right around this part. And if you do, then probably turn down your difficulty. It'll make things a lot smoother. And that's all you have to really worry about. And then I think for the guns that I mainly use was still the Jacobs, which that's just my favorite gun. In game level 30 to level 50, this is where you are going to respect into the summoning elementals build. And this is where the avatar comes in, because you will be covering pretty much every element besides your guns. You're gonna be doing the ice, you're gonna be shocking, and you're gonna do the fire damage. And this is where you're gonna focus mostly on every node that allows for the drones to get increased effects, increased damage, increased cooldown reduction, increased duration on how long they can be up. This is just very important that you follow it like this. And due to my class mod, it allows me for getting some extra points into this node tree, which I will show later on so you can see exactly how I did it. But yeah, this is pretty much what you want. You don't have to go Searing Cold. You could go what I did here. I'm trying it out. I don't really, Searing Cold is way better to me. On top of that, Snowball or Storm Surge, depending on how you want to do it. Snowball is more for mobbing, and then Storm Surge is more for bossing. So if you're doing bosses, I would definitely highly recommend Storm Surge. If you're not doing bosses and you're just farming for something, then I will go for the Snowball, because it ricochets off each enemy and it just keeps going around the map, freezing, and it just allows more cold damage to happen, and the hammers go crazy. But class mods, this is where I would mainly focus on for your build, because with class mods, they allow for extra points to go into the node tree on some of the skills that you want. Now, I got lucky with this one. Insane pickup. I got a level 27. This allows for all my drones to have increased skill points. And that's why I say it definitely matters when it comes to the other class mods, because this is a rare chance to get. But there's other class mods that allow for different types of builds. So I would definitely recommend trying to get one of the class mods to be fit for the build that you are doing. And if you get some for the drones, then that will help out a ton when it comes to this. So definitely recommend it. Specializations. Now, specializations are based off pretty much your playstyle. I'll show you guys how I did mine. This is for pretty much, I'm going for action damage, action cooldown reduction, and just to try to get my damage to be mainly focused on my drones, because with the drones, like, second wind becomes pretty important when it comes to like later on in the game, because you will get hit by some shots that just knock you down completely. Some of them are even one shots. So having your drones be able to do a lot of damage, and they travel around the map pretty instinctively, it helps a lot to be able to recover easier. So I highly recommend it, following like this. I've had a lot of fun with it, especially with the bullet train. You can hip fire while sprinting, and then if you keep scoped in, you do even more damage within the zone. So like, I have something for when I'm hip firing, I have something for when I am scoped in, and it's a great combo. Like I got to cover pretty much my play style. I get to cover everything that how I play. So you got the drones increased damage, you got the gun increased damage, you got the hip fire and increased movement speed. Like it covers all those, however you want to say it. So there we go. That's pretty much what I have for the specialization, but that's pretty much it. That's the Elementalist build. That is the avatar Amon. And if you want to try this out, let me know how you feel about it in the comments down below. It really helps if you leave a like and you subscribe. I will be making build videos on every single tree with Amon and the other Vault Hunters. This game is so fun, so you're going to be getting a lot of content out of me. So if you want to be here for that, definitely hit that subscribe button. We'll make videos weekly, so we'll always be here. And thank you guys for watching. I'm going to go ahead and leave you guys with some of the gameplay for the final end game and how this build looks. Peace. please comment down below, and please make sure you subscribe. It helps a lot. And if you want to come watch me live, twitch.tv Crouton, and I'll see you guys there. Peace.